All right. Welcome in. Welcome back to the BFR Podcast presented by Mockery. My name is Dave. Cover the Bears for SM. As always, I'm joined by my good friend, co-host Ficky, Chicago Bears content creator. And this is a special episode today, at least for Ficky and I and everyone that's kind of been here, especially the OGs from episode 1. If you've been here from episode 1, first of all, thank you. And hit a like button. You already know. But seriously, this is episode 100 of the BFR Podcast. We've come a long way from just doing this for fun to now kind of, obviously getting paid to cover the team that we love. So it's been extremely, it's been a fun journey. Obviously, for just the beginning, 100 episodes. I mean, there's people with episode 900 or something like that.
Hey, look, you got to start somewhere for sure.
Yeah, we got to start somewhere, but we're going to kind of have a Bears Panthers preview. Of course, we'll have our bold takes, predictions, headlines for Monday. But we'll also spend some time kind of going over some of our favorite moments just over the last year plus. And of course, we'll have some really fun stuff, some bold takes from our viewers. Some of them are absolutely awesome, hilarious, that we'll share later in the show. But of course, you're going to get the same old Bears Panthers preview. So we'll go over just the offense, defense for both teams, kind of key matchups and everything like that you get in a preview pod. So again, episode 100. Presented by Sports Mockery. Wouldn't be able to do without them. They kind of hopped on board around episode 20. Ficky, is that right?
I don't know. You might be right. It
was about episode 20.
Yeah,
it was after our Tyler Scott interview. We had Tyler Scott, his rookie season, before he took a snap in the league. He hopped on the pod with us. Good friend of the show. Wish he'd get some more snaps, but obviously it's tough to crack that receiving room right now with it's kind of loaded. But that's when we joined on over them. So, shout out to them supporting the pod. The road to 10K subs is almost there. We are grinding that way through. You guys have been really supporting, helping get that way. Get us to the 10K, marker. But Bears, Panthers, Fick, before I kind of get into it, anything you want to say in regards to episode 100?
I mean, look. I knew we'd get here at some point, but it is kind of crazy. Like to go back and look at episode 1 and just to see where we're at. It's awesome. So I've loved the journey. It's been great. We made improvements, and it's also nice that now maybe the team might start to be good. Because let's be real, the first 80, 75 episodes, this team it was hard to cover this team. So we're excited to. Maybe we can start to move in the same direction as this team. So we're really excited about it. And thank you to everybody who has watched us from episode 1. You could even join 2 episodes. We appreciate it. Because again, Dave and I aren't going to do this if it's just us. We like each other, but no one wants to hear just us talk when we talk all the time. So we appreciate you guys being in here and giving opinions and engaging. It's awesome. I
think our first episode did, because looking back at today, or it was yesterday, I looked back, and I've done it before, but look back to episode 1 where it's there's not a lot going on. If you go all the way back to the archives, and we didn't even do live streams back then. It was just videos. True. So if you go back to episode 1, you'll see that it's just 2 guys on a mic, and you have very little graphics. I think we got about 100, 200 views, right? So it's never been about the views, but it is cool to have just the community that we've built, to be able to have people DM and, hey, love the show. Because today we had a giveaway. And first of all, I guess we can announce that we have a Caleb Williams jersey giveaway for episode 100. To enter, go to our Twitter. The details are there. Simply retweet, give us a bear down, subscribe to the pod, and then hit the like button on today's episode. Ficky, we were going to give it away today. We're going to give it the weekend. We're going to give it to the weekend. After the Bears win, we'll have a post-game pod like usual, and we'll go ahead and give it away. And if we're feeling real good, I have my own giveaway. So maybe we'll just have a couple more on Sunday if the Bears win. So hit that like button today on today's episode. If you're watching on YouTube, Apple, Spotify listeners, you know what to do. Subscribe, download if you can. The support's been unreal. But yeah, looking back to episode 1, episode 5, and now 100, it is cool. The Justin Fields era, we were in that one. And then now we're obviously in the new chapter with Caleb Williams, and it's very similar. A
little bit so far, but yeah. There's a little more hope, I think, with this regime for sure.
Yeah, it all depends on who you ask, though. Honest to God.
Funny comment. I put this up here earlier. This is Ethan. He's definitely OG of the show, but he said 100 episodes, 0 offensive coordinators worth half a shit. Dude. So it is kind of funny. I think Dave and I both agree that we're a little bit more hopeful about what's going to happen. I think so, especially with the polls regime. But yeah, it hasn't it hasn't been a great. It's like
man.
every 100 episode was like, oh wow, we're so excited about how this team performed the previous game. So that could all change though here soon.
No, it better. And we'll get to that as well because the Bears versus Panthers, I think, is a season-defining game. You're already 4 games. You're about a quarter of the way through the season. Bears versus Panthers, you're at home. You're undefeated, so you're 2-0.
Right.
The Panthers are considered a team that is at the bottom of the league, in my opinion. They're top 5, worst rosters. Andy Dalton's obviously gave some life to him. He's played better than Bryce Young, at least in 1 week. But this is a game where it's like, 1, not only you have to win, 2, I think you need to win comfortably. Like you cannot get out of here. Like to sneak a win. I know it's hard to win the NFL, so let me preface that. But to sneak away here at home and win by like a field goal or something like that, and it's close and it's cluttered like it's been the first 4 weeks, I just don't believe that's enough, especially for where Caleb and this roster. I mean, it's not a win now because you have a rookie quarterback, but the roster is built right to win. Now, I'm not saying contend, but at least to win these games. These are games that this roster.
Oh, this should be an easy one. I think everyone agrees. Like we should walk out of here. But what's scary is we saw what they did last week. Not saying the Bengals are good because they're obviously 1-3 for a reason, right? But the Bengals basically that game came down to like the last 2 minutes. So since Andy Dalton, the Red Rocketeer, since he's taken the start, they've at least been competitive in their games. So, like you said, the NFL is very hard to win, and I agree. If we should come out here with a statement win.
Anthony Richardson tossed us the rock 3 times or at least twice, and he threw. All I'm saying is that was a game we should have won and we didn't. So I saw this as a trap game for Mr. James on YouTube. I feel that. I'm hoping Indy was the trap game, in my opinion. So let's take care of business against Carolina. So
the good thing is, what we'll talk about though, is that the defense, at least so far, they've kept us in every game. So as long as they can keep us within 20 points, 21 points, 3 touchdowns or less, this offense definitely has the ability against this defense, which we'll talk about, to score more than that. So it gives you a little bit of hope.
I hope so.
Here's a comment here. Rudy Pfaff says, Ficky in a hole right now? Actually, no. So I'm in Chicago for work, but I'm staying at a friend's house. And actually, you can't tell, but this is a Chicago. Their whole basement's like Chicago based. I'm sitting at a bar right now. Got Chicago. There's a Justin Fields signed jersey right.
I see
back it there. Yeah, right there. So like it's a Bears filled bar. So it's actually a perfect hole to be in at the moment. So for this,
it's kind of funny though.
It does look like that with just the exposed wood and whatnot. Yeah.
Because if you've been here for a while, you know that is Ficky. That is not your normal setup.
For sure.
So that is pretty funny. Yeah, you're in Chicago. You're not going to the game, unfortunately. But
you know what? I'd rather go to. I think I'd rather go to a more. I mean, this one could be exciting because it should be an easy win. But how many games I went to last year? I was like, we should have won and we didn't. Now Panthers was the only one I went to last year where they actually won. That was the game where Fields was going to start, but Bajan, it was his second game because he had the Saints prior. So I don't know. I just felt like if I'm going to go to one, I want it to be something maybe a little bit more quality of opponent, or like at least someone on the other team. Like there's no one on the Panthers I'm excited to even see. Maybe Xavier Legette, but like,
yeah, he scored his first touchdown last week. No, I agree. This is a shitty. I mean, honestly though, this is a game I would actually want to go to because the Bears should put up some points. There should be some firepower at Soldier Field.
I agree, but knowing the Bears, we know that's the only thing I'd be scared of is that you go in with these intentions like, oh, they should steamroll them, right? That's what we just talked about for the last 3 minutes. And then you get there and they put up like 17 points.
Bro, you're getting these comments on YouTube from Isaac Everett. You want to throw it up?
Yeah, that's great. You in a darkness retreat? Yeah, I got Aaron Rodgers back there. We're about to light us on ayahuasca. We're at it. So that's funny. That is funny. Yeah.
No, before, like I said, we're going to get into the preview. But again, thank you guys again for the support. Almost 10,000 subs, over 100 episodes. We're almost nearing 1 million views on YouTube as well.
Crazy.
The Spotify, Apple numbers have been doing great. So wherever you're listening, however you support, again, cannot say it enough. We appreciate it. And we're excited, man. Here's to another 100. Hopefully we get a Super Bowl in the next 200 episodes. I don't know.
I was going to say 100 might be
no, I think 200
200
is realistic.
Yeah, that's fair.
God, that sounds like a lot, but
yeah, because how many episodes would it be from the last Super Bowl in '85? That's like 10,000. So that's 30 years of podcasting.
Dude, can you imagine doing
40 years.
Can you imagine we go 10 years podcasting and we don't get a single like Super Bowl? Not even Super Bowl. Give me like a deep playoff runs, like 5 out of the 10 years.
Well, think about that. There's been Lions podcast for a minute. Like now it's good, but there's been people that are in that situation. And and there's teams that haven't even been to the Super Bowl. Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
At least we went in 2006. I'm not saying we're doing great right now, right? We're still on the bottom end of success rates, at least in the past 2 decades. But there's teams that literally haven't even got a sniff, a whiff of what success looks like. So perspective, I guess. But look, at the end of the day, with the roster we have now, we talked about all the time, this team right now, how it's currently set up versus this Panther team, which we'll break down, they should win this game. That's not a surprise to anyone.
There was a Chris Long had a kind of viral clip. Forgot what podcast he was on. I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe it was Rick Eisen, probably. That's probably what I'm thinking. But it was this week, and he talked about how there's been a lot of comparisons between Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels' start. For me, it's 4 games. Throw that shit out the window. First of all, hats off to Jaden Daniels playing his ass off
for sure.
The Commanders as a whole, coaching, everything, they're playing so
Dan
well.
Quinn's a good coach.
First of all, I think you need to be able, if you can't just enjoy, hey, good football, you'd love to see it. Obviously, it sucks. Bears quarterback struggling, but we've seen this before. Caleb, I think you just got to give him time.
But is it really? But I think struggle's tough. Like the first 2 games, yes, but
his
he's
deep
been
ball
playing
is struggling.
better. That's true. That is true. That is 100% true.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, he had 100. I know he's not having the yards and maybe the stats, but last game he had 106 quarterback rating. He didn't turn the ball over. He was efficient. You know what I mean? The running game actually worked well, so we didn't have to pass as much. So, and then the game before he was decent too. So I get you though. We expected Caleb to come out here and like turbo jets and numbers be flying through the roof, but hopefully we can start to see maybe some of that this week.
Yeah. I mean, all I'm trying to say between the Jaden Daniels comparison, first of all, comparison is the thief of joy.
For sure.
Bears fans know this, same thing with football. Like I know Darnell Mooney had a great night last night. Like good for him. I hate that we always bring it up like, oh, we should have signed a blah, blah, blah. And I loved Mooney, one of my favorite players in a very long time in a Bears jersey. Hated what happened last year because he kind of think he was injured and everything. But anyways, the Chris Long clip was talking about how the Bears were kind of built ready to win now with Justin Fields if they would have traded for the Hall. And we all kind of had where we were leaning, what we thought. But the idea is it was always the best route to go with the rookie quarterback, reset that clock, get Caleb Williams. Of course, now, though, he made a very good point about now you're not really ready to win now because of the quarterback, right?
Yeah,
and then the offense coordinator, not on the same page. It takes some time, but the defense, the weapons, they are ready. And that's
defense
where
is definitely ready.
But
you know what's
always
weird
the case.
though? As I say, the defense always is. It's not always like as good as what it is now, but we get like that 2-3 year stint where the defense is fine. So maybe we have hope that we can build that up again. Like if this defense regresses next year, but the offense catches up, like the defense is still good enough. And how I view in the modern NFL, like yes, having a great defense is very important, right? Especially when it comes to playoff times, right? When you're really particularly scheming into one team. But if your defense can be top 15, and your offense is top 10. Look at the data for the final 4 teams of the NFL. It's always their offense is top 5 or top 8, and their defense is just in the front half, right? So that's all you need. It's not even, you know what I mean? So if they regress, like, okay, maybe they're ready really right now because they're like at their peak.
That's what's so exciting about this team, the potential. Because if it starts to click on all cylinders offensively,
you're good.
You are good. You're probably fighting. I know the NFC North is a gauntlet, but you're fighting for a playoff spot. And if you get in, you're a team that no one would want to play. Say Caleb and this offense gets going right here, right now against Carolina, and they start to, it starts to snowball heading into those really tough matchups at the end of the year with the divisional games. But you take care of business. Say these next 4 games, which are winnable. You should be favored at least 3 out of the 4. You go 4-0, right? You're sitting at 6-2.
That's
heading into that.
Amazing. That's better than what most people would think.
But that's what they should be, right?
For sure.
For me, it's like the team can be a very dangerous especially later in the year where they have a defense that is ready, a Super Bowl caliber defense, and then an offense that is with a rookie kind of, I'm not going to say CJ Stroud-esque, but it's like it can be that explosive at times. We just haven't seen it. So
people forgot
this is so pivotal.
People forgot with CJ Stroud that it also took him a couple games to get going. He did not come out of the gates and start just like firing away. It wasn't like an Andrew Luck type of rookie season. It's just that in like once it clicked, it didn't shut off. So we're hoping, right, that once it clicks with Caleb, which we're starting to see progression, right, every week, right? He started low, so the bar wasn't hard to like get better, but we're seeing every week he's been getting better. So if it just clicks and he can like stay on that consistent path, we'll set up for a very successful season.
I want to read some stats here before. So after the game, I know we had our post-game pod, and I know we want to get to our game preview, and we're kind of waiting on Jack. Hopefully he can get here in a couple minutes. I would love to get his bold takes and everything as we go through the preview. But really quickly, I want to go through some deeper analytics into Caleb's passing attack. So I want to start with the bad here, Ficky. Caleb Williams on throws of 20-plus yards through the first 4 weeks. He is 3 of 19, 15.8 completion percentage, 3 interceptions, and a 13.4 passer rating.
That's not great.
Abysmal. So I don't know. Man, it is not good at all.
He has as many completions as
interceptions.
Yeah, that's never a good stat. Okay.
Yeah. So, but this is where, again, we understand the deep ball has to get better. And it will. It has to. Like this is rock bottom when it comes to his 20 plus attacking the deeper parts of the field. But if you're watching the games, you're watching the film, or honestly just watching the games, you understand, okay, they are missing on some big plays. You connect on 6, 7 of these, this whole entire offense probably looks different. Like you're probably looking at an average offense, in my opinion.
And some of those deep balls too, as well,
are touchdowns.
100%. Like I remember the first game, he had 2 of them that were touchdowns, but some of them are also miscommunication. So you have a mix of like accuracy and then also people not being, because that literally happened last week with DJ Moore. That's considered a deep ball. That was definitely more than 20 yards. Miscommunication. We've seen that in what was the game we lost against the Texans? Literally the final drive, we had like 3 20-yard passes, and the ball's not even near where like the wide receiver, the miscommunication on what the route is from the wide receiver and where Caleb was throwing the ball. So it has, like you said, basically I said it to be like, there's no way it can get worse, because at least some of that miscommunication, they're probably going to lock on more. The accuracy stuff, we'll have to see.
We'll see. It has to get better. And I don't like to criticize Caleb. It's not fun to do it, but that is a game. The deep ball is something he needs to work on. Simple as that. However, I want to get to now throws between 10 and 19 yards through week 4. He's 10 of 15, which is 66.7 completion percentage, 159 yards, 10 first downs, 1 touchdown, 124 quarterback rating.
Sounds great to me.
That's what I'm saying. Middle of the field, a lot of throws are there. I think 7 of those throws are towards the middle of the field, so about half. He's attacking that deeper part, 10 to 19 yards. That's awesome. However, that's not even the best part of his game right now.
His short game's crazy.
Which is hilarious, because that was something coming out of college where they were kind of really,
worried about.
He's a hero type ball, very similar to Justin Fields, where he's going to kind of extend the play, put that cape on. But his short game is really, really awesome. So let me look it up here. I had it pulled up.
Yeah, I think it's like 15 for 19 or something. I don't know. I remember seeing it. I was thinking the same thing as you, Dave. I was like, really? Interesting. This is his.
Oh, here we go.
This is his best trait.
I was like looking over it. So I did all these stats. I got to put them together. So Caleb, he's already elite in the short passing game. Simple as that. So here's the breakdown that I put between passes of 0 and 9 yards through week 4. He is 42 of 46.
Jesus Christ.
91.3 completion percentage. With drops, so adjusted completion percentage, it's actually 95.7. So there's a drop in there. 307 yards, 6.7 yards per attempt, 2.4 seconds average time to throw. So he's getting the ball out quick. I think that's top 10 in the league right there. He has 2 touchdowns. However, it actually should be 4 because Keenan dropped 1. And then Rome, if you want to count the one where he threw it over.
Oh,
do you
that
remember?
Super high one.
Super high one. But I think they actually had a touchdown connection that very next play, right?
No, that was a different game.
Ran it in, right? He ran it in.
Ran it in. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that's 4 touchdowns possibly. So 2 for sure. And then Keenan, obviously, 9 times out of 10, he's catching that one, but he dropped it. And then the Rome one where it was a jump ball, he should come down with that. But he has a 99.9 passer rating. So 2 out of the 3 areas of the field, he is elite. He's getting better and better in those. I mean, I don't know how much better you can get in the short game right now.
No, that's absurd.
It's the deep ball that's missing. So if you even start connecting on 25% more of those attempts,
bro,
I mean,
even if it's like
can be unlocked, man.
Even if it's 3 plays, even if it's like 6 for 19, that is so drastically different because also the deep ball has such an impact on the game because it could, one of those would probably be a touchdown. A couple of them are like 40-yard catches. You know what I mean? Like the narrative behind Caleb would be drastically different. Not that the narrative actually matters because we just care about winning games. But yes, I agree. If you get a couple of those deep balls right, I think how people view Caleb is going to be much different.
There was a thread here about Jaden Daniels' deep ball, Caleb's deep ball. And honestly, Jaden is missing as well. And he's missing, but he's also hit on about 5 or 6 more than Caleb. So it's not like he's perfect. Obviously, he has an insane completion percentage through the first 4 games. Like I think it's historic, like 82% or something like that. But his deep ball, he is missing because it's a hard thing to hit. Lowest percentage. It's one of the toughest clubs for quarterbacks, typically outside of maybe Justin Fields, who is elite at that part.
He was good at that.
Elite, electric, and he's still showing it in Pitt. But for me, it has to come together, and I think it's going to get better. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you got to hit 2 to 3 shots a game.
You don't just forget how to throw a deep ball. You know what I mean? Like that was your talent at USC. So, like you do, if that's what you're known for, you're gonna know how to do it. Like that's what Justin Fields was known for. So when he came in the league, he still had it. So whether it's timing, you know what I mean? Maybe some mental stuff, the physicality, the ability to do it is still there. So I'm like not too concerned about it. I think he'll get it figured out, right? And again, it is early. It does suck because you would like to see what you're already good at, like just translate well into the league, right? So I get our frustration, but I'm not like super concerned about that as of now. No, ask me at the end of the season if it's still some crazy low percentage on that, then I'll be like, okay, like maybe there is really something going on there.
Yeah.
But
for me, these next 4 games are crucial.
For sure.
You got to see, I want to see a lot more improvement. But there has been progress, like you said, the first 4 games. But this is where it starts, man. This is why I said this is a season-defining game here because it's a team you need to just start hot, like we've been saying, but just honestly put this team away. No more close games. Yeah, you can have a mistake or 2, but you should still win this game. I'm hoping by double digits.
That's the one thing they have not done this whole season, which is why we've been in every game, is because we've been a second half team.
Yeah.
Our even not just offense, even defense. I think there's a stat out there where it was like rush or what was it? It was like pass yards allowed in the first half. I think the Bears are like 24th or something like that. But in the second half, they're like 3rd. Like no one can move the ball on in the second half.
Well, I think the Bears are averaging almost 10 points a game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, crazy.
Which is impressive too.
Sorry, it wasn't pass yards. It was pressure. So pressures in the first half were like 24th in the NFL. We're 5th in the second half. So I get, so in the second half were adjustments by the coaching. Maybe that's something to Flus, like whatever it is, they're figuring it out. But what makes great teams great is playing all 4 quarters. And I agree with you, Dave. You said it like 2 episodes ago or 2 games ago. The team has to come out hot. And there's no better opportunity, even though we said this the past 3 weeks, to come out hot than against this Panthers team. Yeah, it has to happen at some point.
Before we get to the preview, well, I guess it's kind of part of the preview, but it still kind of sticks with the Bears offense. Most big plays through week 4. The Bears are last in this category. They only have 12 big plays through 4 games. So rushing, what's considered a big play here in this graph, is 10 plus yards or more. They only have 6. In receptions of 20 plus, they only have 6 as well. So 12 explosive plays. For context here, the Carolina Panthers have more. They have 18. 10 passing, 10 receptions of 20 plus, and they have 8 of 10 plus rushing yards attempts. So the number 1 team, the Packers, who have 38 big plays compared to Chicago's 12. It's insane.
It's Matt LaFleur, for sure.
Exactly. So the Bears, they are just not hitting. It is a lot of the quick game, Obviously you see about 15 attempts that go for about 10 to 19 yards, but
it's not even
overall.
But what's more concerning though, Dave, is the run part. So luckily we got that going at least last week. A big play for us in running is 5 yards, and we couldn't even get that. You know what I mean? And we finally saw that last week. So I'm hoping, because again, a lot of big plays come off play action, right? You get biting from establishing the run, and that also helps out a rookie quarterback. So we can develop that run game. You'll be able to get those play. Guess who's pretty good on play action? Caleb is. He's pretty good on play action.
He typically is. I was actually just about to say that. I don't want to set you up. No, I was looking through the stats. When it's a passing, like where it's just like under center or where there's no play action involved, he's actually a lot better. Like through 4 games. I don't think that's not normal because play action is supposed to help you. But
normal
his run game's been so bad. But his passer rating is way better out of non-play action. And then
you know what? All of his best plays, I'm thinking now, like, they haven't been play action. And it's actually been some of his best plays have been under center too, not even shotgun. So interesting. Yeah. We'll see though. Yeah, it's maybe I don't know if that's concerning.
Some quick positivity here though. The fact is the first number 1 pick since 1950 to win their first 2 home games is an awesome upside.
Yes, it is.
I love that stat, but it's like, is that all, Caleb? Come on. Tennessee.
Well, it's never.
He didn't turn the ball over. That's true, but
Tennessee
it's not like he's lighting up in those 2 games at home.
And that's more of a testament about how bad number 1 overall teams are. Like the people that have the number 1 pick, they have the number 1 pick because they're bad. So rookie quarterback goes onto a team where he might be the best player on that team. You know what I mean? That's never a good sign. We're not the number 1 overall. We're not the worst team. We were the 9th worst team. So it makes sense why that would happen. That's why our defense is so good. Allowing Caleb for those games, right? Because Tennessee, he did not help us win that one. He didn't lose it, but he did help us win it.
Shout out to Will Levis.
Yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, I mean, that's cool. It's cool.
Like I said, we want to spend the first 30 minutes or so to kind of talk about the Bears' first 4 games, kind of where we're at, what we expect. Now we have Bears versus Panthers preview. We're going to go through all our graphs like we typically have. Not sure if we're going to have Jack on the show here yet.
It's fine. We got
fingers crossed. It's his dad's 50th birthday, so they're out celebrating.
Shout out to that.
But before we do, again, hit that like button if you're here in the chat. Subscribe if you want to stick around. We'll be live on Sunday to recap, give our instant reactions from that game. But now we're going to kind of get into the preview.
Actually, I think it's a perfect time. Let's we do a read here, and then we can just finish the show off with the stuff. So, like Dave said, if this is your first time, please like and subscribe. It's free, and it helps us with the algorithm so this show can get out to other great people like y'all, and we can keep building this community. So also, if this is your first time, please leave a hashtag #NewFaceGang in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out before the end of the show, like we always do. And if this is not your first time, you've been here since episode 1, all 100, or you've seen more than one, we appreciate it. You are now an OG. Please give a hashtag OG in the chat. We'll make sure to give you a shout out as well. And if you have any other questions as well, throw them in the chat. We'll try to get to them at the end of the show. But if you also want to support Dave and I, we do have a store, the BFRstore.com, where we have, as you can see here, hats, hoodies, shirts, everything you could ever want just to help support us. All the money from the show just comes back to Dave and I, and all the money from the store comes back to Dave and I, which then we just put into the show to make great graphics like this and to keep improving and start making some experiences down the road and just keep improving this community that we're building. Speaking of a community that we're building, if you also want to support us, we do have a Patreon, and you can join for free. It's the BFR Den on Patreon, and the link is in the description along with the store. And on there, you get access to our private Discord. If you are a paid member, a rookie tier, a rookie grizzly, or a Hall of Fame tier, you will get access to like our free giveaways we do each month. We do a private Zoom call. We have a mailbag episode. And we're thinking about, Dave and I are always working on different ways to continuously bring value to you guys there. So if you want to support us there, we appreciate it. And for our current Patreon members, because I know we have a lot in here, thank you so much for your support. You guys have been phenomenal.
I love it. I want to bring up this real quick, though, from Bunk God. He's out in North Carolina, Asheville, after the hurricane. Says hopefully he can get some service. He finally has some good service out here to be able to watch football this weekend. So
hopefully you're
glad
good.
You're safe, man. Hope you are able to kind of relax, kind of get back to normal. and hopefully watch a good weekend of football and hopefully the Bears win. So, but yeah, it's crazy, man. A lot of people affected out there.
A lot. Atlanta got hit pretty bad. We had tons of flooding and things like that.
Really?
Nothing compared to obviously North Carolina. It's pretty bad out there. So hopefully you're safe. Hopefully everyone's good, and we'll be sending positive vibes your way. Except for the team in North Carolina. Sorry. Everything about North Carolina is great except the Panthers, right? Yeah, they can suck. So everything else, though, we'll send positive vibes to y'all. So
absolutely. So let's get to our preview for Bears versus Panthers. Fick, do you want to bring up
what do you want to do? The injury? You want to do injury report first, and let's go through that.
I think it's important. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go ahead and start with the Bears here. So.
Yep. So Bears injury report for Friday. Honestly, overall, looking really good here, guys. So we have Zach Pickens. Hate to see it, but he is out. Terrell Smith is out as well. But then you have a lot of good news. DeAndre Carter, Tevin Jenkins are both questionable. They were limited the last 2 days on Thursday and Friday. What that means, though, Flus said it's more of a pain tolerance. And I think they are going to probably get the green light to go. I would be shocked if they didn't. You want to bring it back up for me?
Yeah, no problem. Mm-hmm.
We have Javon Dexter. He was a full participant along with Cole Kmet, Mercedes Lewis, Montez Sweat. And yes, I mean, overall, the Bears are super healthy, Vic. I mean, this is as good as it gets in regards to NFL Week 4.
For sure.
Because there's teams that are decimated. You think of the 49ers. You think of even the Panthers, who we'll get to
the Rams we just played. I mean, geez, their lists are long. I know our list, we had a lot of people on it, but a lot of them ended up playing. And then also we aren't missing any, like, I'd say true starters, which is, I mean, that's a luxury at this time. It doesn't mean it'll be like that moving forward, but yeah, I agree with you. I think it was your tweet about it. You were like, wow, this is great news. And I agree. Only 6 lines, whether it says probable out, whatever it is, right? That is fantastic to see.
Yeah. No, there's it's just a lot worse. The Bears, where they're at right now, is such an important stretch of football. You're healthy. Even Rome Odunze, who you were nervous about missing a couple weeks, didn't miss a single game. Keenan's back. I mean, knock on wood here, but I mean, the Bears are looking really good in regards to the health department. So, I mean, I'm not going to, there's just no excuse, right? If you were out a couple starters, you're like, this could be a tough game, but you are healthy. This is why I feel so strongly about this game. And we'll get to obviously our predictions later on. But you feel good heading into this one. And then it looks even better. I mean, the news that came out of Carolina about what they're missing. I don't know if we have theirs fixed.
Yeah, we got it right here. Yeah, we got it right here.
So, wow. First of all,
by the way, I had to cut 2 pictures. Like, it was so long that I couldn't just get a snapshot of it. I had to take 2 of them and basically glue it together. So yeah, they've got a pretty long list here.
Yes, they do. So we have, let me pull it up here. I actually have, Jack should be actually popping on, our producer. Okay, so cool. That'll be awesome. But let me get to, I actually brought up wrote an article on SM Today Sports Mockery. You can check it out. Kind of talking about the injury reports and what we kind of can expect. But as you can see, it's super long. The Panthers are actually going to be missing their 2 starting linebackers, which is, I think, a huge. I mean, when it comes to the short game and DJ Moore and the weapons that they have to be able to attack, Cole Kmet, the middle of the field. I mean, have those 2 guys out, which is Josie Jewell, and then Shaq Thompson. And then their 3rd string center, Andrew Ram, is out as well. And then you have a lot of players that are questionable. Deontay Johnson's going to play, but when it comes to like Robert Hunt, Charles Harris, what's another one? Shai Tuttle, Dane Jackson. Tuttle. I mean, their corner, questionable. However, they did state that the guys that are questionable, I think this was head coach. What is his name? Yep,
Canellis, right? Dave Canellis.
Yeah, he said Dave Canellis. What is it here? Says all the questionable guys that are actually looking good in regards to playing Chicago this weekend. So I don't know if that's tactics. I don't know if that's how 100% true, or if that's just
either way, they're
playing chess.
They're missing 2 starters. We just talked about how the Bears, like, they've had some injuries, but they haven't really missed starters. 2 starters, even if it's not your best players. Shaq Thompson's a pretty good linebacker. I mean, he's not like top tier, but he's a decent linebacker. So missing 2 stars on the defensive side, we should, with this offense, you should be able to attack that.
Even if the players that are questionable play, you saw Rome, right? He played
not 100%,
the first week, but you're not 100%, man. And that is huge in this league because
sure.
even 80% can affect the game. You can miss, especially on defense. If you're a step too slow, it's a touchdown.
Football's a game about chess. They attack. Once they see, it's like you see the wounded dog, you're like, all right, well, let's go on him. So I'm not surprised by that. And I think I think that'll be a good testament for Shane, right? Knowing that these linebackers are out, knowing that Caleb has performed best in that short game, middle of the field. Is that going to be something that they target early? And I think they should. And running the ball, of course. Please run the ball.
Yeah. So. I mean, we have yards of the catch. I think is going to be huge in this game because I still think Caleb, hopefully he connects on at least one of two. I'm feeling optimistic. I'm always going to hold out hope that, that's something that was his game. That was like a strength in college for him, hitting those deep balls. You even saw it in those 3 completions, which I think 2 of them were to Rome this year. You think it's going to happen, but that short game where it's like, even DJ Moore, I think we could have a big one. DeAndre Swift, right? Getting to your safety valve there. Cole Kmet. There's just such an opportunity for these guys to all kind of have big days, or at least 2, maybe 3, if it feels good. So, but injury report wise, again, this is why I'm leaning so much to Chicago. You're at home. Carolina's beat up. Sure, they had some nice energy, good vibes from Andy Dalton from last week. But for me, I still think this is such an opportunity for, kind of like a get right game for Chicago. So injury reports definitely lean in favor of Chicago.
Most things are, which will actually perfect transition. Let's go ahead and take a look at the game overview. You'll see most of things are leading to the Bears. Not that we have a lot, because again, for another week, we only have one football on the offensive side, which is just, it's so sad. But you can see here that basically which is surprising. This is what's really surprising, because you would have thought with how bad Bryce Young was playing earlier on that, their O-line had to be pathetic. You had to. But their O-line is 7th in the league, for pass protection. They do not give up that many pressures, right? So that's their testament of their offense. We know they got Andy Dalton, who's rejuvenated, but it's not like Xavier Legette, rookie. Deontay Johnson might be playing, right? It's not like they have anything crazy in their passing or rushing game. So it's really about how much pressure we can get on Andy Dalton, right? So you look at the defensive side, their defensive side is not good. Their pass defense is, I think it's 28th in the league. It's pretty bad. And we already know our defense across the board. Pass rush is middle of the field, which isn't bad. You're looking at 12 to 17. Our run defense is decent. It dropped down a little bit just because we gave up 94 rushing yards last game. But overall, this defense in the second half is very elite. And we know our secondary is easily top 5 in the NFL. So when you count up, I started doing this, Dave. When you count up the footballs, it's only 10. It's only 10 to 9. You know what I mean? So we're only up by 1 football. But I think our defense versus their offense, I think it's just so drastic. And if our offense can play to what, I'm not even saying it has to be their peak offense, but if they can play up to what this roster actually is against, again, another bad defense. It's the 3rd week in a row we're playing a bad defense, right? They should capitalize on this. And to be fair, every team, the bad defenses we played, it was Indianapolis, and we played not that great. Then it was the Rams. We played better. I'm hoping this 3rd one, we can start to get a couple. Let's just add at least 1 to each of those categories. So overall, again, this team is on the offensive side not exactly where it wants to be. But like you said, Dave, we're going on a stretch right now, and this includes this Carolina Panthers team. This team's not that good. We should be able to take advantage. If you were to do roster to roster, we are much better in every category by roster, right? By the players than what they are. Except O-line.
Yeah.
Except O-line.
Yeah. This is where you almost feel you want to throw that graph up one more time.
Yeah,
I want to look at it again. Because first of all, there was a comment here, such a clean animation. I agree. If you're new, if you've been here if you're new here in the last couple of weeks, these graphs haven't always been here. It's been like I said, episode 100. We're just getting better every single week. Learning. And this is a testament to Ficky. He had a good idea. He was in the lab and he just kind of got to work. And he honestly just kind of just kicked out 4 or 5 graphics or something.
Look, it was fun
in one day. So
be great.
Appreciate the love there. But yeah, it's every week when we look at this offense, it's At least we got a ball, because I don't even think we've had a ball the last.
Yeah, I think we just got.
Man.
I think we just got a ball, right, for rushing, because we
Did we
finally
have
had
blocking though? I thought we had a ball on blocking last week because
yeah, we did. So basically, it switched, and then we lost the ball on pass rush. So we look. It is sad when I'm putting these together. Let me tell you something, because I'm like, oh my gosh, again. Like you feel after the game, you feel confident, like, oh, the rushing was much better, but then you forget that was literally just one game. There's been teams that have been decent with running the ball. Like, we were so far down at the bottom that one game isn't going to do much. But the hope is, particularly with the run, is that we developed, we learned enough of the scheme that we can make this work. Mm-hmm. And that's just, maybe it's just me, me, trenches and all that shit. But like, if we can get that run game down, I think it's going to allow us to get some fucking footballs in the pass game. So.
No, this next 4-game stretch, starting with Carolina, you got to start producing on offense. You got to, man. Simple as that.
Question. No question.
But yeah, I love it. I love the graphic. The Bears defense, you love to see that run defense. I mean, that pass defense, that secondary is disgusting. I think Andy Dalton obviously should have at least a tough day. But you saw Matthew Stafford, what he could do, but even then, he still had some blunders. He had an interception, should have been 2. Obviously Brisker was out of bounds there. Yeah. But hey, I love it. It's going to get better, but I love that graphic. Shout out to you. There's a comment here said, let Ficky cook. And absolutely, man, you're killing it. I think,
to be fair, Dave lets me cook. It's not, Dave's like, what you got? What idea you got this week? I'm like,
keep it going, dude.
See if it works. So
no. I love it. So I hope you guys liked it too. If you like the graph, hit that like button. Super would appreciate it. But let's move on. What do we got now, Fick?
We got bold takes.
No, you're good, bro. Oh my God. I know Jack's struggling to get in here. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hop on or not.
Yeah, if he doesn't, we'll share his as well. But yeah, I will say this before we start. Something happened for the first time this season to Dave and I. And that is, we both got a win. Not only did the Bears get a win, Dave and I finally got a bold take right. So on the season so far, we are 1-3. And what actually I thought was surprising, Dave, is that our takes weren't like, oh, both Caleb. I went running, I think 100 rush yards. They're both offense. I went 100 rush yards, which we got. And thank you, DeAndre Swift. And then you went Caleb, no turnovers. So
exactly, man.
Hopefully we can keep it going. Because I think we both said too with our bold takes was like that will equal a win. That's not always the case with the bold takes, but it's like it was like if we can develop a run game and we don't turn the ball over, we're gonna beat this team, and we did. Yeah. So
no, I'm trying to multitask. It looks like Jack's having troubles here. He needs to connect mic and camera.
Okay, that's fine.
Phone. People are like, "What the hell?"
We're trying to get our producer on here because we like to get his opinion on the bold takes.
No, Jack's part of the show, man. He's more than a producer for sure.
Oh no, that's
anyways, he's struggling. 100%. He's struggling to get on here. But anyways, yeah, bold takes are tough to come by, man. Maybe we're just too bold, which I like. And I went ahead and shared a tweet today, which I'm going to start doing because I want to kind of get the audience, our viewers involved. And I said to drop your bold takes for this weekend for Bears versus Panthers. And you guys delivered. We had over 100+ comments. Some are absolutely hilarious. Some are sad, but some are really, really funny. So I guess before we get into, let's do our bold takes just in case some of them are taken. But I'm going to share some of your guys as well because they are quite funny. I think I'll share my screen on this one, Vic. When we get to
that's fine. Let me. I'll do our bold takes real quick, and then we'll share those. All right. So I'll start with mine here. So Bears score over 30+ points. Like I said, I think this defense is in every category, like 25th or worse. So we're not going against a good defense. Their secondary is 28th. It's pretty bad. So I'm hoping again, develop the run, open up the pass, make it easier for Caleb, and easily get 30 points. Also, this defense has shown that it's pretty good at turning the ball over. So hopefully they can get a turnover here or there on the Red Rocket, set this team up for, an easy score. Because we've seen it that this defense, I think, Dave, you got super frustrated about, which you should, when we got like a turnover. I think that was last week, the week before, and we like couldn't even get 3, and we were like on the 50. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
like put the offense in favorable positions where you're not asking your rookie quarterback to do crazy things. If he does, that's fine. But like, this is a team that we should be able to steamroll. So, and maybe that's not bold enough, but it's not like we haven't scored 30 yet, right?
it's bold enough. 30 plus would be a fucking awesome.
For sure.
Excuse my language there, but it would be insane.
Absolutely. Okay, let's go to your Daves here.
Yeah, what did I say? Let's see. There we go. That's what I thought. Caleb Williams, 4 touchdowns, 4 total touchdowns. So it could be 2 rushing, 2 passing. I just feel like this is going to be we need it, like, as far as good energy. I know I said comparison is the thief of joy, but Jaden Daniels is kicking our ass right now in regards to just the headlines, and it's not making it easy. So Caleb is going to add a little bit to the, he's going to basically fight back a little bit here. Not that it really matters in the grand scheme of things, because it's just one quarter of football being played through the season. But as a fan, for people to chill the fuck out, in the media and these bad takes. First of all, Chicago Sports, NBC Sports Chicago now is transferred to that new name.
No, I don't think they even are they even affiliated with it?
What?
I thought NBC just
their
NBC
account.
Folded.
They took that account. They just bought the account. So the NBC Sports Chicago account is now the Chicago's whatever that is.
Oh, so
long
it is
story short,
okay.
I'm not gonna. They tweeted a graphic. They deleted it because they're getting ratioed to hell.
Roasted,
talking about do the Bears already regret not drafting Jaden Daniels? And for that type of propaganda to be out there already is ridiculous. But for me, 4 touchdowns should silence the noise. Feel good, because if you get 4 touchdowns, hopefully you're looking at 300 plus yards passing as well. So for me, that's my bold prediction. It's honest. It's my bold prediction, but it's like my hope too. Like we need this, dude.
We need one. You
no better game here than Carolina, and just honestly, it's poetic because you get the trade a couple years ago that honestly lands DJ
Caleb's
Moore,
not here.
Gets Caleb. This has got to be it, man. I know we still have a 2nd round pick next year, but this could be like the final nail.
We're still waiting for the Caleb breakout game.
Yep.
And so it's got to happen at some point. This dude's
got to happen
for not to happen. So I'm going to I know Jack isn't. Yeah, I know he's not on here. We're going to share his as well. So Jack had Andy Dalton is held to under 175 yards.
That's good.
And honestly, that's still a bold take for sure. But like, I think he's been balling, but like this secondary is so good that it could possibly happen. The only problem, though, where that may not be able to happen is if the Bears are up so much that they just end up passing. You know what I mean? You just get those yards because you're just, for example, we'll get to our predictions later, but like the margins that we have are pretty large. So you could see that like maybe they're just passing so much. Kind of like what Caleb did 2 weeks ago, where you're passing 52 times. It's like, yeah, you're probably going to crack 200 just from the amount of volume. But if that happens, we need 1 week where we all 3 hit. Like, I feel like we'll come to the show like wearing crowns and just running this shit, because that is yet to happen. I mean, we barely got one. We finally got one. So, yeah, but I like those bold predictions. I think they can happen. Yeah,
no, I like it. Hopefully it comes through. We're 1-4 though, so there's not a lot of like confidence here in us.
No. I'm excited to see what the fans had to say, though, because I haven't seen I saw the tweet, but I haven't seen it.
This is pretty funny, man. Do I want to share my screen?
Yeah, I mean,
I guess we could do it. Let me flip it over here, and we'll share it. I know Jack's having trouble, so I don't know if we're getting Jack today. Jack. So everyone that wanted Jack, I'm sorry. I know he's trying. He's trying to join from his phone too, so that's always kind of brutal.
I love this comment though here from Rudy Fabs. It's like, we want Jack. We want Jack.
Yeah, we want Jack.
Get a chant going in the chat. Maybe they'll bring some good vibes to get him on here.
So one of my favorite ones here is Tory Taylor. So I said, drop your bold takes for Bears versus Panthers this weekend. You guys deliver, like I mentioned. King Ivory on Twitter, he goes, Tory Taylor, fake punt, touchdown pass. I mean, just to secure his
legacy already.
Lore, Tory Taylor lore here would be just hilarious, dude. I would love to see that. Let me bring me back up here. I think it would just be awesome to see. I don't even know how that plays out, but I want to see it now, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
Now let me bring on. Okay, so now there's a bunch of comments. Can you see it, Fick? Pretty well. Should I zoom in a little bit?
Yeah, if you want to zoom in just a tad, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there we go. So comments on my tweet. You have Mr. Infante here, Jacob Infante. He goes 2 sacks for Javon Dexter. Obviously, I love that one. I think that one would, that could happen very easily with Andy Dalton being immobile. Bears by 24, Caleb 4 touchdown passes from Vic on Twitter. I like that one as well. Connor, Caleb 4 touchdown. Rome has 2 of them as well. We have an Andy Dalton revenge game.
Please no.
Please God, no.
Yeah.
Byard gets an interception. Let's see here. Jay, this is a good one too.
Jeez.
3 100 receivers, 3 touchdowns, 525 yards of total offense.
Yeah, I would be honest. That one's probably not happening. That is, I think Kirk Cousins had like 505 pass yards. He broke Atlanta franchise record. Like, that's probably not happening with our rookie quarterback.
2 Chains or what is it?
Kirko Chains. Yeah,
he is balling. We have DJ Moore 2 touchdowns and a defensive touchdown. We have Keenan Allen game. Shane Waldron calls a good game. Williams throws for 297, 3 touchdowns. We have Tyreek Stevenson, 2 interceptions from Buff Llama. Jay Hand 80 goes Cole Kmet, 2 touchdown receptions. Bears with 1 interception and 1 fumble recovery. Wild card Bears have a block punt. We have Seth Coughlin. Jalen gets 2 picks, 1 being a pick 6. That would be epic. Mercedes Lewis 2 touchdowns.
Oh, that's a take. That is a take.
We got Bears by 40.
We haven't even scored 30 points yet. Mostly scored like 27, maybe. That's hilarious. I love it. I'm not even mad about it. It's a bold take. It should be.
Dude, there is some really good ones. Caleb passing for 300. Let me go to my quote tweets real quick, and then we'll end it here because I know we have some more to get here. Let me see here. View quotes. Yep. So Torrey Taylor, the fake punt touchdown pass would be insane. That's got to happen, man. We have the Bears offense doesn't give up a sack. You like that one? Torrey Taylor runs for a touchdown, 3 passing touchdowns, 10-point victory. DJ Moore goes for 8 receptions, 130, 24 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. We have Caleb and Bryce kiss at halftime under the bleachers. Good Lord. Oh, my God. I don't even know why. I started reading that, and I thought it was a normal one, and I got to finish
I was with you, though. I was literally reading it line for line. I'm like, oh, that's a tweet.
And I liked it, too. I don't even know why I did that.
Oh,
Jesus. Okay, we got that one. That's a lot. I love it, though. Caleb breakout game. We have Caleb Williams receiving touchdown from Roma Dunze.
Hey, look, we saw Jared Goff do it on Thursday night. Was that Thursday night? Monday night football? Mm-hmm. He caught one. So,
hey, we got DJ Moore, 200 plus yards, 2 touchdowns. Bears win 34-10. This is my fucking outcome right here. I like that a lot.
He did that against
the
Washington game. Yeah.
Bears defense 0 touchdowns. We're going to smoke them 34-16. Until we get an OC, I reserve my thoughts on any predictions on the offense for the rest of the season.
That's funny.
Like that. 2 more interceptions. Yeah, so you guys delivered for sure. I appreciate you guys as always. Hilarious. Made me laugh. Gave me hope.
They're bold takes, right? So that's what we're here for. I mean, yeah. If you were hitting on most of them, they wouldn't be bold enough, in my opinion. So I love that. I do love the Torrey Taylor.
That's
the Torrey Taylor one. That one's gonna be funny. Wouldn't that be something though? Look, it'd be so Bears if it was like Bears won, right? Let's just say Bears won like 24-10. Caleb 0 touchdowns, but like we have like 3 rushing touchdowns.
Torrey Taylor gets a touchdown. That's the season right now.
That would be so Bears. Yeah, for sure. So
that's cool.
Hopefully that's not the case. But
now what are we on? Are we on our predictions, Fick?
Yep.
Are we going to
Okay. We got score predictions here, and I will go first. I will say to preface, we're all pretty similar. Like, I think we kind of feel the same way about this. So, score predictions here. I am going 34-20. And I'm basically going first time, because my bold predictions we're going to break 30. I basically had us scoring 4 touchdowns and 2 field goals, which that means we score on 6 possessions. I know that is bold. We have not done that yet. I think the most possessions we've scored on in this season, I think so far is 4. I think maybe 5. So if we can score on 6, I think like that means the offense was really churning. Like I would feel good about that. Obviously, you want touchdowns on every one of those, but we're not going to drop 42. Like I don't feel comfortable about that. But if we can score 6 times, whether it's a mix of field goals and touchdowns, I'll walk away from this game about the offense feeling a whole lot better because that's what they need to do. Sorry about the sneeze.
I have like something in my throat, man.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think we're right on. What was mine? It was 34. You can bring it up, I guess.
Yeah, here we go.
Close though.
34.
Yeah, 34-21, man.
Which is crazy because I didn't even see yours, and I was just doing math in my head, and I was like, yeah, I think we won't score in every drive. I was like, maybe 4 touchdowns, throwing a couple field goals. So, and then I looked at yours, I was like, oh shit, you felt the exact.
No,
same way.
I feel good about this game. Also, there's a lot of hope in there, a lot of coping as well.
For sure.
I mean, realistically, this is the game. You got to do it. Jumpstart this 4-game stretch here where you can you take on Carolina, you go to Jacksonville and London. You get a bye week, then you have the game against Jaden Daniels. That's a big one. So either way, this is it, man. This is where you got to get going. Continue to build on the confidence that you're continuing to build each week. So I want to see it happen.
For sure. And so does our producer, Jack. He has a bigger win margin here for 31-10. Could happen. Very could happen. Andy's been playing pretty good, though. And my only concern is that
the fucking Bears defense is going to murk him. I feel
I
want it to
I
happen.
agree, but this is the only thing that's been different against the teams we've played so far. This offensive line is actually pretty good. Our defensive line has done pretty well, especially for the people on it, right? Names like Javon Dexter, Darrell Taylor. Obviously, Montez is Montez, right? 2 sacks in a row. But that's going to be the matchup, of course, as I say every fucking week. But this is probably the best offensive line that we've faced this season. So it's going to be interesting to see, does the defense still perform? The back half will, but can we generate enough pressure on Andy? Because if Andy has time, he's a vet. He's going to be able to read defenses, get the ball where it needs to go. Where the mistakes are going to happen is when he's pressured, because obviously the dude's immobile. He's 55 years old. So that'll be an interesting matchup to see how that goes down. But yeah, it could happen. I could see us smoking this team. We haven't been able to do that yet.
We'll see. Let's get to our headlines for Monday. How this works is similar to the herd. It's just what are the newspapers, what are the social media posts, what are the headlines for articles, what are they going to say, and we're kind of predicting that on Friday. So
this one could happen technically a little bit later, but because of the discourse on the internet, this is what I have. Monday headlines. Jaden Daniels, who? Because the man's going to go off, man. 4 touchdowns, like you said, Dave. Absolutely. I don't care if it's 2 rushing, 2 passing, whatever it is, but another key piece. I'm predicting at least 3 touchdowns, but no turnovers again. We're going to get back-to-back games. We look at the QB rating, we walk away and say, you know what? Good job, Caleb. Another game that you improved.
I like that one.
Improved on how you did last week.
Throwing Jaden in the spotlight, though, like that. Whoo, that is Chicago.
I can come back. That is for sure. For sure. And there's nothing against Jaden. Jaden's balling. I loved watching that last game he had last week in prime time.
Got to get clicks, though.
So. For sure. Hey, it's a newspaper. Okay. That's exactly what
What's mine?
I know what mine is. Finally.
Yeah, I do have a little, man, you've been cooking on the graphics. I need that finally to be bigger. I need it to be bigger, man. I want it huge because it's going to feel like a relief here because I feel like the offense is going to perform. That's why I have that finally, feeling where it's okay, it clicked, right? Now let's keep it going. You finally got to see it. You got some confidence. You can score 30 points, right? You can produce offensively. You can hit on those deep balls. So for me, it's as Bears fans, it took up to week 5, but finally it's here. So that's how I feel.
It's going to be you walk away and actually be I feel good. Because even after the Rams win, you feel good, but it's not you're oh, wow, things are clicking. No,
a win is a win in this league. At the end of the day, I know we could have a close game against Carolina. I won't feel good, but hey, 3-2.
You'll take it, but I think their finally is perfect because it's you walk away and be this was the team that we were hyped about in Hard Knocks, right? This is what we were talking about. And really, it's just the offense clicking. So, and then Jack here with the Bears are back. But I can't explain why he said that. I'm assuming that's an easy win as a 21-point margin, but
yeah.
But look, either way, I think we all feel, and we talked about in the beginning of the show, we come in here, it's at home. We've been playing well at home, undefeated at home. Fans have our side. I mean, fans really loud, bring in the atmosphere as they do. Offense gets things going. If we can get, this defense is good enough that if we get a lead, the game is over. It's a fact. If we get a lead early, the game is over. We have not been able to do that yet, and we still won games. So I'm hoping that like the hot start that we both been eager for, but like you've definitely been preaching can happen this game. So I really feel like, Dave, let me know your thoughts. After the first quarter, maybe that might be a little bit too early, but we should kind of know the outcome.
I hope so.
Like this is the team. Like this is a game where you can walk away from the first and be like, yeah, I feel good that we should have this game.
By halftime, we should feel. It should be like, okay, you're able to, finish, drink, eat, snack, and feel good about yourself heading into that second half where it's like, oh, we're kind of cruising, and you tack on a couple more touchdowns and you win, by 10 points, 14 points. I agree, Fick. I agree. So
will it happen?
Love it. No, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We will definitely see.
Let's get it. Let's go ahead and shout our OGs, and then we'll go ahead and get to our OGs. And what else, Fick? I think I'm missing something.
Let's ask some questions. We got some questions.
Yeah, we'll knock out questions, and then we'll get out of here. So.
Absolutely. So also, we do have some score predictions I want to share as well. So let's do that real quick. We have King Buka World 31-9. If we don't even allow them to score a touchdown, possible. Fantastic. Mr. James, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. That's probably not happening, but we love the number reference there. Bears win 69-0. Aaron Larson on YouTube with the 31-17. Low-key feel like Keenan is going to have a game. Look, not one wide receiver yet has had a breakout game. Rome had the one good one. I guess that could be kind of a breakout game, but it wasn't like you walked away and were like, oh my God, he went crazy. We need one of these wide receivers to kind of have one of those games. Interesting. Checking out Gypsy with the Panthers 17-13. That is literally like, if we lose, we better be scoring like 30 points. I'm sorry.
That's some reverse psychology if I ever seen.
Thank you. Yeah, there it is. Nice spin on that, Dave. All right, we got Ball Durham. Yeah, Doorman with 34-13. Bears will take that. I like that. Wes, who's actually the house I'm in right now, is Bears 28, Panthers 13. Appreciate that, Wes. Appreciate the hospitality. And then we'll go through some of the questions here real quick, and then we'll do shouts to end. So Juan here said, how many touchdowns or yards do you think Caleb throws for this Sunday? We can answer the touchdowns. I think we're getting 3 to 4. That was Dave's bold pick. But Dave, what do you think on yards? You think he pass his
I'm gonna go so far? Under 330, but above 300. So in between that 330 mark.
Love it. Because that means we're running enough and the run game was established, but still we're able to develop some good passing schemes. I appreciate that. Is good. Andrew. Yep. Oh, I'd love that. DJ Betke on YouTube said, now that we have roughly a quarter of the season in the books, what are your season projections for Caleb in the remainder of the season? Let's go. Let's do this. We're going to save that one because I'm actually going to build. I'm going to probably have a graphic for us that's going to look at Caleb and where he's projected to go on our post-game show based off how many yards he has after every game. So we're save that. But I think this game will be, if we look at the projections right now, it's not great. It's like 3,300 passing yards. So it's not bad. Still break some records.
All it takes is a couple good games, though.
For sure. He had a 360-yard passing game. So it's definitely possible. A little bit too early to answer that just yet, Andrew. But appreciate the great question. Rudy here said, how many sacks do we think Dexter gets this season? Happy to see him come out of the gate fast this season. Because he's a defensive tackle, like he's probably not going to get double digits. But if he gets me 6 in the second year, we're feeling good about that. And I think he's on pace to get 6 easily.
He's at 2. He's at 2 right now. So I think 6 to 8 is a really good margin. 8's at the top. You really, that's a really good tackle.
For sure.
If you're getting 8 sacks, man. But his 2 are awesome. He's really been a key component to this defense, in my opinion, especially getting to the passer and some pressure. So,
absolutely. And then we have 2 more questions. So we got Rod D here said, I have a question for you guys if you can answer. Will Shane Waldron not be cute with the play call like last Sunday? And will Shane be aggressive down the field and score a touchdown this Sunday? Well, you know what? I will say this. Shane Waldron was not cute in that second half. You got to give credit to where credit's due. He adjusted in that second half of last game, and he called some great plays. He did. There's a lot of great play design. So the issue that we've had with Shane Waldron, first off, that was kind of like the first half where we felt good about it. But can he do that from the jump? Do we have to wait till halftime to figure out what's working and what's not? Right? So I'm hoping that won't be the case. And actually, it's kind of weird. Shane Waldron's like his first scripted plays have pretty been decent. Like Caleb normally comes out, moves the ball a little bit well for most of the games, not all of them. Like in that first quarter, maybe we don't get a touchdown, but we'll get a field goal. But then it's literally everything after that. So
the problem I have with opening drives too is like it's just like, man, there could be like a penalty too. You don't know this Bears offense right now, so it's, but
right. No, that's true. Because last game we had like 6 or something like that in the first half. It was horrendous, and we have drives where we're like 1st and 20. So it's like, yeah, I feel you though. I think there's every game is every game, so you just never know. But like there is a small amount, a very, very, very.
Hey, I might even be wrong. Javon Dexter, there's a comment here. He might have 3 sacks on the season.
Even better. That's even close. He's already halfway to 6. So
yeah, he has 3 sacks. Yeah, I thought
3 sacks in 4 games.
Yeah, I think PFF has him as 2, and then everywhere else has him as 3. So,
and we kind of touched on this one's the last question here, though.
Yeah,
last question from Isaac. Speaking of ATL, thoughts on that ATL Tampa game? That was beautiful.
Kirk is awesome.
Drake London looked good. Mooney looked good. That was a great game. Well, Baker,
game of the year potentially.
For sure. Also, 2 shout-outs here. First off to Mike Evans, because I feel like he doesn't get talked enough. This man always delivers season after season after season. Another thing is what we're seeing now with the NFL. If you look at the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now, it is like these redemption stories of quarterbacks. And I love it because there was definitely with the Peyton and Brady era, I think teams were like, oh, they have to come out of the gate quickly, like fast, and they have to produce now or they're done. They're washed, throw them away. And we're starting to see a change in that now where it's like, oh, wow, there might be a lot of factors that goes into QB play. Who would have thought? You know what I mean? And I love seeing that for some of these quarterbacks like a Sam Darnold, right, who's been bounced around. Baker not necessarily bounced around, but, had definitely a tough up and down a time in with the Browns. And he gets in a situation, they're like, oh, look, we're going to use you for your talents. And he's balling out. I love seeing that for these quarterbacks because I feel like, and I feel like I'm a victim of it too. I think it's just the nature of the beast. We want results so quickly for these 22, 23-year-olds. You see a CJ Stroud and you're like, this has to be the thing. And it's like, there's a lot that goes in. There's so much time. We're 4 weeks in. So seeing some of these guys perform, I think is just a reminder to like, hey, let's give it some time. Let's see what happens. Like these guys are early. So
yeah, I feel opposite. I gave you 4 weeks. Now these next 4 weeks, you got to deliver. I want to see it, man. I'm hardcore. I think Caleb has a good roster. Obviously, the offensive line isn't great, but I agree. There has to be some patience, but I think we have been patient. At least I have.
No, I'm not saying we haven't. And the Bears as a franchise and just the lack of it, I think we might be in a little bit different of a boat because we are just like starving for just like decent, you know what I mean?
There's some added pressure for sure. You don't want to be wrong. You don't want to miss on another quarterback. So.
For sure. And the route that we went, obviously, right, where we had one who's also doing well now. So, like, yeah, there's definitely more that goes into it. But I think
could have him. Yeah, there's a bunch.
For sure. I just think I just kind of like the idea of like seeing these guys because you're seeing with like a Geno. Like, I don't know if you watched the Seattle game, but like that was also a fantastic game. It was Lions and Seahawks on Monday Night Football. Came down to the wire, and Geno's been balling out. I think it's like number 2 in like QBR. So, anyways, great question. I just love seeing like some of these redemption story for these older guys. So, hopefully, we can get it early, and we don't have to worry about that. Caleb starts clicking this game, but it could easily happen.
Yeah,
but I think that is
awesome.
It on our end. So,
yeah. Well, again, appreciate you all. 100th episode, like we mentioned earlier, we're super excited. Cannot wait to continue this thing. You guys have been amazing. Road to 10,000 subs is obviously still the mission. We're getting close. So keep it going. If you're here, I think there's over almost 50 people in the chat. Go ahead and hit the like button on YouTube. Subscribe if you want to stick around. We'll be back Sunday to recap hopefully the Bears win over the Panthers and move to 3-0 at home. And continue building that momentum. Thank you again. Ficky, anything before we get out of here, brother?
Also, we do, like Dave mentioned earlier, we do have 100 celebration jersey giveaway, Caleb Williams. So make sure you go to our Twitter at BFR_pod. The instructions on there, like retweet, subscribe to the show, things like that. We're going to announce the winner on our post game coming up. And so, hey, look, easy way to win. Just a couple clicks here and there, and you might just win yourself a free Caleb Williams jersey. So good luck to everybody. And thank you all, like Dave said, thank you all for the support. We wouldn't do any of this without y'all. So thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, hey, we'll be back on Sunday. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy football. And again, thank you again. See you soon.